Hello, this is ASEAN Movie Pulse interviews. I'm here with Ming Lang Chen, director of The Teacher, on the occasion of the movie screening in a bit in Five Flavours Film Festival in Warsaw. How are you, Ming Lang?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, so let us begin. So why did you choose to place the story of the film in the particular period, just before Taiwan became the first Asian country to permit same-sex marriage?
Well, I didn't quite plan it. The process is quite organic. I did not write about specifically about the marriage equality in my script. But when I started pre-production, I noticed that there's events that's coming up. So I started to talk to my producer. I say, I feel like this is very important and it's very much related to this movie. So we should go and go out and shoot it, which was why you saw on the beginning of the movie. It's very much like a documentary. We just went out and shoot it that way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so, what would you say are the most significant issues, in your opinion, that gay men face nowadays in Taiwan? The movie seems to suggest that the pressure to hide their sexual identity is the most crucial one. Is that your opinion?
Well, I think because of very particular Chinese or Asian family values, that that is quite hard for gay men, especially young. Well, since my generation, I think for now might be a little bit better, but still, it's really quite hard for them to be able to come out uh, uh, in the family or even where they work. Um, Although Taiwan is a very small island, in Taipei, which is the capital, it's much more open than the middle and the south of Taiwan, which is only like 5 hours drive away. So that's quite a very big difference culturally, and also I'm sure society. That's it's a very hard society environment for them to live in.
Mhm. So you mean that outside of Taipei is more difficult for?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, I understand. All right. So Jin Woo's wife emerges as one of the most tragic figures in the story. But what is your opinion about wives who suddenly find something like that about their husbands?
Um, well, we started from, I have an idea of uh, this guy's wife. It's quite a very difficult situation for her to be able to maintain her dignity and her position in the family. And that's very like I say, it's very traditional family value that for her to have to keep up the appearance. Also, she needs to she has obligations to have to deliver child. And when when you are put in this kind of situation, you find out that your husband is gay, and a lot of I think a lot of people in this situation, they just turn a blind eye. They close their eye. They just take whatever they could take. It's a rather very difficult situation, and they are not able to say, okay, I'm just going to leave, because that's mostly not uh, a valid option for them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And but do you think that the wives essentially realize at some point that their husbands are gay and then they are in denial, or they don't realize?
Well, I think the situation differs. Some of them, they eventually know, and then they just, pretend that they don't know, or they just live 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 a life that they do whatever each other wants, but they have to keep up a certain appearances. Some of them, they probably didn't never know about it because the husband would just go out and never say anything at home. So I guess most of them, it really depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you decided to present Kevin, the protagonist, very realistically. Both his traits and his faults are pretty evident. You don't make him a kind of hero. Why did you choose this approach?
For me, for this movie, I wanted to present a character that's very human. So in my idea, to be human is not just, to be a hero, but also he did right thing, he did wrong things. But it's especially that when he make mistakes, that really, shows that he's a human being. Also, uh, in the movie, that he has so many uh, aspects of his life that he has to deal with. Um, I think that I really wanted to show that as a human being, you have many aspects. You have your family you need to face. You have your work environment. You have your friends. You have this society. So all of them combines to shape this person as how he is, which is what why I wanted to show him in a very humanistic way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And can you tell me what was the inspiration behind those characters? Are there people you know, or just?
Oh, well, yes. I think I did a lot of field research, but also I talked to a lot of friends. I wanted to find out what the new generation in Taiwan, the young generation, gay men, what they face. Um, because for me, I am an older generation. Taiwan has changed so much in the last 30 years. We had 30 years ago, we have authoritarian government, and then now it's totally democratic. So this change has also changed the whole environment that LGBT is facing in the society. So which is why I really want to, when I was making this movie, I talked to a lot of younger generation, and I really want to get close to their life, their problems, their difficulties that they faces right now in Taiwan society.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, okay. The school meeting scene is one of the most memorable in the film. Can you give me some details about the way you shot it and its significance for the narrative, for the whole film?
Mhm. Uh-huh. Um, the way I shot this film is I try to be very organic, very I wanted to catch the actors the reaction right in the moment. So a lot of I didn't give them the script. We only read the script once, twice, and then I took the script from them. We went out and shoot. I told them what's happening. So a lot of it is just right happening in the moment. Especially for this scene in a school. Besides Kevin, the rest of the cast, they are all just state players. They came, only knew that they are going to play a certain role. Like I told the principal, I say, you're going to play the principal of the school. And then you are doing this, you're doing that. But they didn't know what they are going to say. They didn't know what is going to happen until they all come together right there in that room. And then I started to explain to them, tell them what's going to happen here. So what you see is actually a very in the moment responses that happen right there, right at that moment. And I think what's happening in that scene is actually a microcosm of it represents what a large society in Taiwan is, which is what I really wanted to show. Even though in a bigger environment that we passed the gay marriage, but in a personal level, there's a lot of, you still have to deal with a lot of difficulties, a lot of discriminations.
Okay. And can you tell me a bit about the casting of the film?
Yes, I actually did a very long casting for the film, which is quite not the normal way of doing things in Taiwan now. I spent 3 months, 4 months to have a workshop, and then I choose the actors that I think this one that he is quite maybe I think is quite close to my character. So I would ask him to come to the workshop, and then we started from almost 20 person, and I as we go along, I cut it down. So it took me 4 months to eventually make sure that Oscar Cho, who played Kevin, that he's really up to the task. And through all those 4 months of workshop and acting class, we get to I work with a teaching coach, acting coach, that we kind of able to help him to go into the character.
Okay. And can you tell me a bit about the cinematography? What was your purpose in the visual aspect of the film?
The cinematography, I work with a very young cinematographer. I was looking for something, someone that would be able to communicate very well with me, even that maybe we don't need to really talk about it, and then he knows what I want. And I searched for a long time, and eventually I think it was 1 year before the production, I saw this short film shot by this cinematographer, Eden, and I really like it. So we go out, we have a talk, and I really think that we are able to communicate quite well. So with this movie, we wanted to have something that's very very like documentary like, very fluid, something like organic kind of a way to be able to catch what actor is at the moment. So that's how we started, and then I think we communicated quite well. So I was able to have this kind of really everything that's in the moment sort of a documentary type of feeling.
To get back to the acting a bit, do you allow for much improvisation by your actors, or are you very specific in what you need?
I wouldn't say, I think improvisation is very much misunderstood. They are allowed to improvise under my supervision. I have a very specific goal that I know where to go. And then I need to find a way to communicate with the actors, either by verbal language or by any kind of implying or any kind of means that I can get through to the actor to let them know what I want. So they are allowed to do something on set that they think, it's interesting or it's quite good for them. But then if it's way out of what I wanted, I would say, okay, that was not right. Maybe we should go another direction, something like that. But I have to say, it's in a very specific direction that I'm leading them to.
And what is your opinion of the Taiwanese movie industry at the moment?
Well, that's a very big question. That's a big question. I think Taiwan movie right now is there's a lot of portion are getting into commercial, and it's very much of audience-oriented, commercial-oriented film, which is not totally bad, because before that, we all know Taiwanese new wave in 80s. At the time, they got a lot of recognition internationally, but in Taiwan, they just don't get any audience. So after that, I'm sure it's sort of, people try to find a way to get out of it. But then after that, right now, it's just, I think it's too commercial, and people who make movie, a lot of filmmakers come in just thinking about how can I have a big box office and what does audience like. I don't think I can agree that much about it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what about the LGBT movies in Taiwan? We saw some successes during the last few years, like Dear X, which screened in Netflix, and a couple of others. Would you say there is an industry, let's say, of sorts?
Yes, I think Taiwan is a very encouraging environment, very vibrant LGBT filmmaking environment. So especially in Taiwan's cultural administration, they are very encouraging. There's no restrictions on what you can make, in creative wise. So you can see that in Taiwan, there's actually every year there's a lot of LGBT movies coming out of Taiwan.
Mm-hmm. And do the audience go and see those movies though?
Well, it's also a very divided market, I would say. When I was making this movie, my distributor told me, my executive producer, he said, well, to make LGBT movies, first of all, you know that you have target audience, that's very clear. But then second of all, your market is just that part of market. It's hard for LGBT movies to cross into mainstream audience.
Okay. And are you working on anything new at the moment?
Yes, I'm working on my next feature film. I'm still in the process of thinking. There's a lot to think about. I was thinking if I should keep going back to Taiwan to make movies in Taiwan, or because I live in New York. So I also wanted to make something in the United States. So I'm still kind of like trying to balance, trying to find out my next step, where I'm gonna go.
Okay. So, all right, I will be waiting.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you very much, Ming Lang Chen, for being with us.
Thank you so much, Panos.
Okay, this is ASEAN Movie Pulse interviews, and you can see the movie in Five Flavours in Warsaw starting November 17. Once more, thank you very much for being here. Have a nice
Thank
night.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.